All right, well, hello, I am Lisa Leist from the Huntington YMCA. I am an AASDN nutrition specialist, and I'm also a health and wellness instructor. Now, all those letters, it's no big deal. It's just American Sports Nutrition and Dietitian. So I'm just associated with that program. So yeah, it's been a while since I said all the letters. I'm here today to talk about nutrition, and I'll probably get into fitness as well because that is my extreme passion. Eating, I love to eat. I eat whenever, wherever, whatever, except I do not like liver and onions and Brussels sprouts, but I'll eat them, but I would probably not order them. All right, the diet industry it's like $54 billion. $54 billion. So do you know how much the fail rate is of the diet industry? 95%. 95% fail rate. Now, really, a diet is what you eat in a day. It's not the Atkins, it's not the Weight Watchers, which Weight Watchers really isn't even a diet. It's kind of helps you discipline yourself. Let's see here, South Beach, abs diet. There are so many, it is unbelievable. But really, if you think about when you're eating, eat balanced. I mean, that is the best way, and we'll obviously get into that as we go. Now, there's 66% of Americans that are overweight. That would be an epidemic if gaining weight was a disease. So that's really bad. Now, that doesn't mean Huntington or Pathfinders. That just means Americans, everybody. Now, when trying to get to your desired size, one might try to cut down the calories. Isn't that what we're told? We're told, cut your calories, right? What calories? How are you supposed to do that? What if you're not even eating? So one might try to sacrifice. It produces tired and cranky people. Can't do it forever. Low-calorie diets utilize lean muscle mass. And isn't that what we're trying to build and keep? Because that is fire-burning machinery. So we want to try to keep onto that and burn the calories that we're consuming that are carbohydrates, fat. Protein can be used as energy as well, but again, we'll get more into that as we go. Now, picture a beach ball. Just a regular-sized beach ball and a baseball. All right? One is big, round, and squishy, and really light. Yes or yes? Just kidding. All right. And then a baseball is the same weight as a beach ball. You know what yes or yes. You know that, don't you? The baseball is hard and firm and small, and it weighs as much as that beach ball does. Who wants to be the beach ball? No, I want to be firm and strong and light as a beach ball. All right, they both actually weigh 4 ounces, so that's pretty amazing. Now, to look and feel like a baseball, you got to do a few things. Not just eat right, you have to have resistance training, cardiovascular, and obviously the diet comes in, healthy, balanced diet comes into play as well. Now, if you eat balanced, that's like a no-brainer. You have your fat, your protein, your carbohydrates, fruits and vegetables, dairy, you mix it up. You can't skip meals. I know a lot of people go, well, I don't eat breakfast or lunch, I just eat supper. Seriously? That is not good. That's for many, many reasons. It causes overeating when you skip meals as well. So you definitely don't want to get in that habit. Now, exercising 2 hours plus a half hour, so 2.5 hours per week at a moderate level is sufficient enough to maintain health. So you can divide that up. 1 hour Monday, 45 minutes Wednesday. Okay, what do I got left here? 45 minutes. 45 minutes on Saturday. So that's 3 times a week and staying active throughout the week. So if you sit for 4 hours. You go to lunch, you sit at lunch, come back to work and you sit 4 hours, and then you go home and you are active there either. That's not good. You want to, you can probably sit at your desk and stand, right? Or maybe possibly talk your boss into getting a ball. I know that works stability and core. I haven't done that yet, but I'm very rarely at my desk, so I try to definitely stay motivated throughout the day. It doesn't work for everybody, I understand that. Now, strength training, 2 to 4 times per week, and that doesn't have to be hours in the gym. I didn't say 2 to 4 hours, I said 2 to 4 times. You can divide that up into maybe upper body one day, lower body the next, core training, and then just an all over body. You could do 2 muscle groups per day, 3 times a week. So there's just so many different ways, and you can Google those. You really can if you're not a member of the YMCA and involved in cross-training programs. You can do it on your own. It's just you've got to find that inner motivation. Any questions so far? I know I talk a lot and I just it's on these cards. Anything? You've heard it before, yes or yes? All right, eating balanced. How much food do we need? And we are going to get into that real quick on a calculation. It's really cool. I hope you don't get too confused. But how much food do we really need for maintenance, for losing weight, and losing people, or excuse me, gaining? Some people come to me and they need to gain weight. It's rare, but it does happen. We want to make sure you eat fruits and vegetables and lots of color. Lots of color. And so there's so many vegetables and fruits that are different, and there's a reason for that. In season are best, but you can find, there's a rainbow of fruits and vegetables, and they all tell you oh my gosh, here, hold on. I'm going way too fast, my brain isn't working. Google fruits and vegetables of color, and it'll tell you the red is for something, purple is for something, green, and they fit into that category, so that's very, very interesting. You don't want to eat all fruits. You don't want to eat all vegetables. You want to make sure you maintain a balance of those as well. Okay, have you ever seen like portion sheets? Like a half a cup of grapes is the size of a light bulb. 3 ounces of meat is a deck of cards. 1 cup of fruit is a tennis ball. A 1/4 cup of nuts is the size of a golf ball, or 2 shot glasses, I think, or maybe just 1. Yeah, 1, because I put like a handful of nuts in my hand, and that's about a 1/4 cup. Now, learning to eat well and exercise is the solution for long-term weight loss or long-term weight control, maintaining healthy balance. Natural foods, their ratio to calories and fibrous and nutrient dense, you want that. You want the high fiber, you want the nutrient dense foods, and you want the high ratio to calories. So your processed foods lack nutrients, lack the fiber, and they have additives. The energy or calories in food comes from macronutrients. That's your carbohydrates, protein, and fat. Those you need an abundance of. All right, so let's talk about carbohydrates. We're going to start getting into your calculation. 60% of your daily needs need to be carbohydrates. That's a lot, isn't it? Especially if you have a sedentary job, right? Because we think carbs are going to put weight on us. They don't. They can if you overeat them. If you overeat carbohydrates and calories, yes, that will put weight on you. Carbs provide energy for working muscles, fuel for the central nervous system, enabling fat metabolism, and they prevent protein from being used as energy. Carbs such as whole grains, and you want to make most of your choices whole grains. Beans, Vegetables and fruits, they are the good ones. They're not all created equal. Both are utilized to generate glucose. And that's also what is stored in our muscles. Stored glucose in our muscles is called glycogen. Now, complex are more of like the time-released capsules of sugar. And the simple is the injection. Now, some fruits and vegetables are simple, like an apple. That's in that category, but it's extremely good for us. It does have some fiber. And it's amazing, obviously loaded with vitamins. Now, our brain and our muscles are dependent on glucose. So when you go and read that the Atkins, or you heard a friend or a family member, they were successful on the Atkins, of course. But you can't do it forever. Again, you're going to be cranky, you're tired. And it only works for a while because eventually you start introducing those foods back. Well, they want you to do it in a very balanced way. So in another way, I guess Atkins can be good to show you how well to incorporate those fruits and vegetables in a good way. But I just say, just start eating balanced now. Try to look at the habits that are making you not balanced. Now, did you know for each gram of carbohydrate, it's 4 calories? So if something has 9 grams of carbs, which is not very high at all, times 4, that's 36 calories of carbohydrates. 9 grams, but 36 calories of carbs. So it gets a little confusing, but it's worth knowing, and that's on a nutrition label. Now, fiber is a carbohydrate that cannot be digested. You guys know that, but it does stabilize glucose and cholesterol levels, so it is needed. We need anywhere from probably 25 to 30 grams of fiber per day. And just depends on how much you eat. You know, if you eat 3,000 calories, then you're going to need a little bit more than an 1,800 calorie meal plan. Okay, so we know 60%. Now, high protein diets are dangerous for the effects it puts on your kidney and liver. It can dehydrate you, and obviously people will then say, well, I drink a lot of water, but you know, it's just best, again, to eat balanced. I'm just going to stress that the whole time here today. And obviously I just said dehydration. 25% increase in saturated fat, which can cause elevated cholesterol levels. Protein is important for fighting illness and disease, building and repairing body tissues, creating new cells, and maintaining fluid balance. So obviously we want the lean meat, lean chicken, lean beef, and I would say red meat maybe 2 times a week, salmon, fish 2 times a week, and then obviously divide the other days by maybe eggs or beans, nuts, things like that. Again, I used to eat beef every day or ham, and now I don't. I try to get a well-balanced protein meal as well, or throughout the week, I guess balanced options. Okay, so protein depends on how much you weigh. Okay, so on your papers, if you are interested in doing these calculations, your protein is going to be your weight divided by 2.2. And let's see here. If you aren't very active and you're not into strength training or bodybuilding, I want you to take this number times 1.2. If you are into bodybuilding and you're active and you need a lot of repair, I want you to take it times 1.4. I know it doesn't seem like much. I mean, you could even go 1.0 on this one. Okay, so that is going to give, that number right there is going to be your grams of protein per day. Grams of protein per day. And then take that number and multiply it by 4. And that will be your calories of protein per day. So the 4 calories, there's 4 calories in each gram of protein. So again, if you have 9 grams of protein in an item, it's 36 calories of protein. That's where it gets all confusing. So hopefully I'm saying it understandably. Okay, the next thing we're going to get into is fat. And then I will show you how to calculate the 60% and then find out what your protein and fat percentage per day is as well. Now the role of fat, it slows the digestive process. Doesn't slow down it, it slows the digestive process. So we aren't hungry too soon after we eat. It aids in absorption of fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K. Makes and helps food taste good. All right, you take the fat out, they're going to add it somewhere to make that flavor still good.
I'm sorry, aids in the absorption of what?
Aids in the absorption of vitamins A, D, E, and K. Now, saturated is the not so friendly. It's solid or firm at room temperature, such as it's beef, poultry skin, butter fat, egg yolks. Those types are the not so good for you. Now, unsaturated is the friendlier. Nuts, olive oil, canola oil, avocados. Those, you don't want to eat a ton of them, but they are good for you. Your body is going to utilize that fat much better than the saturated. And also, the unsaturated does help with controlling cholesterol. So I said avocados, they are awesome. They're exploding with life-preserving nutrients. It is a true wonder food and is on the list as a very potent antioxidant food. They are a brain food and much more. So try to get those in yours. Maybe twice a week. I love guacamole. And I just cut up the avocado and mix salsa in it and dip that with chips. So very easy. All right, omega-3 and omega-6 are essential fats and cannot be synthesized in the body. So you definitely have to obtain those from food. And obviously, I'm not going massively in depth. Please feel free to email me, or I can find those more in depth for you. Omega-3 fatty acid helps with beating of the heart, immunological reactions, regulation of blood pressure. So things like flax seeds, tuna, salmon, walnuts, those are good sources of those. Now, flax seeds, you have to eat them milled. You can't, your body doesn't utilize them as a whole seed. So milled is the best way to go. Omega-6.
What do you do with flaxseed?
On salad, oatmeal, you can put it in cookies, smoothies. Yeah, and you don't need much, like a tablespoon or two, I think. And I find that either, it depends on which store you go to, either the baking aisle or the cereal aisle. So I found it in both places. Omega-6 helps the skin to look more healthier, and it helps to lower cholesterol. All right, vitamins and minerals. I'm pretty sure more of that is coming up. Yes, okay. Vitamins and minerals, we obviously know that it boosts our immune system, helps support normal growth and development, helps cells and organs do their jobs. They assist the enzymes that release energy from fats, carbs, and protein, but they do not provide energy. So if you take a multivitamin, it's not going to, the vitamins and the minerals are not the energy. The energy is our carbs, our protein, and our fats. Okay, water. Do you guys think you drink enough water?
Too much water.
Oh, you drink too much water?
How much is too much? How much is enough?
How much is enough is definitely the 6 to 8 ounce glasses per day, so 64 ounces. You can also go by your weight if you want to. So 125 pound person would drink 125 ounces. And it also depends on if you sweat. If you sweat for 30 minutes, well, you're going to need another glass over and above that 6 to 8 ounces. If you talk a lot like I do, I definitely need another glass added on. You actually sweat like a cup of water out of your feet every day. I know, that's probably TMI.
But you're saying an ounce per pound of water?
Yeah, depending on your activity level, medication, weight. If you're 20 pounds overweight, you want to drink an extra, for every 20 pounds overweight, drink an extra cup of water. Yep, so that'll help. Water is one of the most vital elements to our health, second to oxygen. Okay, so we can't live without breathing, and you can't live without water. We can survive a couple of days or a while without food, but we cannot survive without water. So you obviously, if you don't think you drink enough, you're getting it from your foods, from other beverages. So, I mean, obviously, because if you think you don't drink enough, you're getting it somewhere. But like if I drink coffee, then I'm going to drink water with that as well. So I don't drink a lot of pop, but I mean, if I know people that drink 2 liters a day or more, but with no water. So they're obviously getting it from your food. And you can actually Google that as well. How much food does a hot dog, or how much water does a hot dog have in it? You can actually find that answer. And you would be really surprised.
So if you're drinking, like, say, iced tea or pop or something like that, do you then subtract that from your 6 to 8? Or are you supposed to do 6 to 8 on top of whatever else you might be drinking?
I would. Okay. Yes. Yep. That would be my professional advice. Yep. Now, almost every basic function needs water to make it work. Metabolism, immune response, toxic waste, toxin and waste removal, and temperature regulation. 55 to 60% of an adult body weight is water. It helps maintain proper muscle tone and carries nutrients and oxygen to all cells. So basically your muscles are like 72% water. I mean, there's water in your spine. There's water everywhere in your body, your eyeballs. Bones are 22% water. Brain and muscles, like I said, are 72 to 75%. You should hydrate before, during, and after exercising, before a meal, and between meals. And they say, professionals say, drink cold water. I guess it absorbs more quickly. All right, and like I said, the 6 to 8 ounce glasses. And if you're dehydrated, the body will draw from the richest places, which is your muscles. Okay, so we are now going to work on more calculations. And hopefully, what time is it? I don't want to go too long. You guys can get back to work, right? Okay. We are going to find our BMR. That's your basal metabolic rate. It is the estimated minimum level of energy required to sustain the body's vital functions when at rest. The estimated minimum level of energy required to sustain the body's vital functions when at rest. How to find that? You are going to take your body weight, women times 11, men times 12. Now the next thing I want you to do is take your answer, okay? So your BMR times, we're going to figure out how active you are. If you feel like you're sedentary, you're going to take your BMR times 0.25. If you feel like you're active, and you're aggressive all day, and you work out and you play sports and you do that 5 to 7 times a week, okay, that might be more active than just active. Let's tailor that down just a tad bit more. Let's go, if you feel like you play a sport twice a week, you work out 3 times a week, and you're active at your job, you're going to multiply this by 0.5. Now, if you are active all day, you wake up at 5, you go to bed at 10, and you're extremely active throughout the day, plus you work out every day, and you even play 2 sports a week, multiply it by 0.75.
What was the first number to multiply by?
The answer of this.
No, when you were saying how active you are.
Oh, I'm sorry, by 0.25 is sedentary.
Okay.
Okay,
What
so
about in
last two
between
are
those first two?
multiplied by 0.5.
Yeah, 0.5 is active, and 0.75 is very.
So 0.75.
All right. Now you're just going to keep that answer as your thermal. It's your thermal effective food, I believe. No, it's your physical activity. Duh, hello. It's your physical activity. So mark that answer as your physical activity. So just PA. The next thing you're going to decide is just trying to remember what you consistently eat, your habits. Do you eat a high fat diet, a high carb, or a high protein? If you eat a high fat, multiply it by 0.05, and you're going to multiply your BMR again, not this number. You're going to take this number, your BMR, times 0.05 if it's a high fat diet, 0.10 if it's protein or high carb. Now this is going to be your thermal effective food answer. And that is basically consuming, chewing, swallowing, digesting. That is your thermal effective food. The next one we're going to figure out is your total daily energy expenditure. And that is the first number plus your your physical activity number plus your thermal effective food. Now that number is probably anywhere from 2,500 to 4,000 in here. You don't have to say yes or yes.
I kind of lost out on total daily energy.
That's the last number. That's all these added up. All these
of them
answers added up. Mhm.
Okay.
So what was it? Giving me, the DMR times the, let's say, 0.10. What that is?
That should be, it's basically, if you're
And what's that called? What's that? It's not the physical
thermal
activity.
effect of food.
Thermal effective food, okay.
I think that would be what you would require. You know. So you are. That's not. They go by in the session.
And then this is your total. Energy expenditure. If we had your body fat percentage, chances are this would either lower or increase. The lower your body fat, the more you have to eat. Isn't that interesting? I think that when I first learned that, I was like, really? I would think the smaller you are, the less you have to eat. But it depends on your activity level and your thermal effect of food. So, do you think those numbers are huge? Do you think you eat that much in a day? No? So if you don't think that you even eat that amount of food, then what could be a potential issue if you don't feel good about your image? Now, there's ways that you can find out where are you going wrong, what are your habits, how can I change them? Journaling, getting an app for your phone, getting an online, paying for a service, meaning Weight Watchers, YMCA programs. So there, I mean, and obviously getting somebody there to hold you accountable too can help. You know, somebody with the same goal, help each other. You guys, do you have any questions?
I do. You're saying that the total energy expenditure number we came up with, is that on the average, the amount of calories we should take in each day to maintain where we are?
Mm-hmm.
Without
Yeah,
changing
without knowing,
anything.
right.
So if you go below that, you're gonna lose the weight. If you go above that, you're gonna gain the weight.
Yes.
Theoretically.
Yes, exactly. Now, I don't know your body fat, so if you guys want to know how to calculate your body fat in, let's see here. You take 100 minus your body fat goes here. Oh gosh, that's not right. There we go. Your body fat percentage goes here. You subtract that by, if you're a woman, 22. Oh no. Oh, here. Yeah, 100 minus, now in parentheses, this is your body fat percentage, minus 22 if you're a woman, and then that's going to give you, why can I not do that? There we go. And if you're a man, this is 18. Because the average body fat percentage is 20, and that's actually extremely healthy, 22%. And then for men, it's 18. So those are, men I think maybe a little bit lower, even would make you feel really good.
How do we find out what our body fat is?
You can get that tested. There are scales out there. There are handheld analyzers that you could do. Huntington University has a bod pod now, which is more accurate than the handheld or the calipers. So I've actually sat in the bod pod, and it's just a different experience. But it just measures the air around you, and then it calculates that way. So it's going to do more your inside than just under your skin. Okay? All right, this number, you're going to then take your total energy expenditure and multiply it by your this calculation. Okay, so you would take your TEE and multiply it by that percentage. Okay, now I wrote that backwards for some reason. And that just totally looks goofy, sorry about that. And then that becomes your adjusted total energy expenditure. So like if a woman was, let's say, 21%, this would be 0.99. She ate 2,000 calories. It would, this came to 2,000. 2,000 times 0.99. And that's how you would do that. So I don't know what 2,000 times 0.99 is, but that would be her adjusted TEE. Okay, now I want to answer your question a little bit deeper.
Okay.
When we're told to cut back on calories, like we want to lose weight, first of all, we need to see what our habits are. We need to see how many calories are we eating. 3 to 7 days could probably give you a good idea of what your habits are. By calculating the calories, your fat, your protein, and your carbohydrates, you're going to figure out, where am I unbalanced? What am I eating too much of? What do I need to decrease? What do I need to increase? There is more to this number, because then you can find out how much, in order to lose weight, you're going to need to even adjust that a little bit more. And then that is going to help you lose weight. 3,500 calories in a pound. So if you wanted to lose a pound a week, you would need to decrease your calories, increase your activity by 500 a day. So 250 decrease of calories, 250 increase of activity. That's 500 times 7, that's 3,500. You're going to lose a pound a week. If you need to lose 2, then obviously you go to 1,000 deficient, yeah. You guys know what I'm saying. Say it.
Deficiency?
It is, but I don't want to say in
Deficit.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. I always get tongue-tied on that one. So there's somewhere you're unbalanced, and it's not even food. It could be stress. Are you stressed out? What extra stress are you putting on your body? And walking can help you relax. Yoga can help you relax, or just even stretching. It doesn't have to be a yoga program. Swimming, having fun with your kids, playing games, card games, just having some activity that can calm you down, because stress releases that cortisol hormone, and it is in our belly, and it just loves it. It just keeps increasing. And so there's just more to it than just eating right. You definitely have to exercise, and you got to get enough sleep. You have to drink enough water, eat color. And, obviously there's even more to this, like I said, but it just gets a little confusing, as you can tell. But I'm open for questions, and I do want to say thank you so much for being patient and listening to my craziness. But I love my job, and I love to go out in the community and help you guys out.
What is the title of this right here?
Adjusted.
You need this answer?
Yes.
Yeah, adjusted total energy expenditure. So yeah, I probably should capitalize those E's.
I wanted to go back to the question about tea. I'm a big tea drinker. I mean, I drink tons of tea. Water, additional water. Well, I know tea has a diuretic effect. So you're saying in order for me to get, I don't even consider tea as being a fluid then, when I'm considering how much fluid I should drink in a day.
Right, right. It is a fluid. It is going to hydrate you. Now, are you drinking it for the caffeine, or are you just drinking it? Do you sweeten it? Do you?
I usually get sweet tea and then maybe break it in half, half water with ice.
A sweet tea, you make it yourself?
No,
You get it from McDonald's?
sometimes.
Okay.
Most of the time, Arizona.
I want you to research that and look how much sugar is in that sweet tea from McDonald's.
Okay.
It's really unhealthy. But, you know, I am just here to give suggestions. You can do what you want. I'm not saying that tea is going to kill you, and I'm not saying that tea is going to make you fat, but you have to, water, just plain water, is obviously the best way to go. I would just try to limit yourself to 2 teas a day instead of having it every meal or every time you want some hydration. But I would definitely, just like coffee lovers, 2 cups a day, you know, that's enough. That's gonna, you know, help you from getting the caffeine headaches. But if it's your sugar that you're looking for that tea, try an apple instead, or just half the tea and an apple, or a banana. So you can sort of do a little bit different for that sugar intake. And or if you're looking for the caffeine, and they say an apple is actually better in the morning than a cup of coffee for a wake-up call. Did I answer or did I avoid?
No, I was just trying to get a sense of how much additional fluid I would need if I didn't consider tea a fluid.
And like you said, you put ice in it, plus you have the tea, so you, in a sense, you are dividing that. So you are getting your tea plus your water as well.
That's true.
I know, it's a fine line, it really is. I'm really just trying to stress how important water is, not necessarily the hydration you get from the tea. I'm just trying to tell you how our muscles aren't made up of tea. They're not made up of coffee or pop. You know, they're made up of just water. So if you can think of it like that, instead of I'm thirsty, I want tea. Yeah, it blows my mind when people say that they don't want water, just plain old water. I'm like, really? That's weird. I don't understand. But I'm not thinking that way. I'm just like, I want to feed my muscles. I want to feed my brain, my body.
Is there any problems with the flavored water?
Again, just limit, but I don't think there's anything wrong with it. The pure things that you can put on your faucets now, or the filters, they come flavored now. You can actually purchase them flavored. So I think it's just so important just to get that hydration, but don't go over and above. Like, you don't need that much tea, meaning 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, you know, a day. Definitely you can drink it, but hold back on it a little bit more. Anything else? Okay, well, thank you.